What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be taking a look at Baby Audio's latest plugin, Spaced Out. Spaced Out is a plugin that combines multi-tap delays with modulated reverb to create a variety of reverb effects. So let's head over to Pro Tools and see what Spaced Out can do. Alright, so here we are in Pro Tools, and I have a kind of shoegazy indie track that my buddy Max did, and I think that Spaced Out is going to sound great on the vocal. The song has a kind of chilled out male vocal and then a kind of ethereal female vocal part, and I think both will benefit from Spaced Out. So let's take a look at Spaced Out. Basically, what Spaced Out is a plugin that combines a multi-tap delay with a modulated reverb. You then blend the delay signal, reverb signal, and dry signal together until you get something that you're feeling good about. The delay section is essentially a 16-step sequencer that has 16 unique delay lines that you can combine. You can choose, the rate of delay, and then also your sustain and feedback, how long you want it to hang out and be reverberating in the background. And there's an analog modeled filter if you want to get out any nasty low and high frequencies. It has real-time reverse delay, which can give stuff a nice texture, and the ability to widen out your delay with the dimension mode. You can then choose between some nice, almost like harmonic effects to give the delay some character. The reverb side also features one of these XY control surfaces that essentially allows you to blend between the different reverb sounds and modulated sounds. Up here, similar to the delay, you choose between whether you want a short kind of maybe plate type reverb or just, the huge outer space trippy big reverb. You have your standard width and pre-delay, but one feature I really like is this stardust. It's almost like a shimmer pad that you can bring in, and it gives some nice high-end sparkle on top. You can also mellow out the high end and low end of the reverb with this guy right here, and this sounds really musical. Doesn't just feel like a typical filter. You also have the option to clean up your reverb by feeding kind of an altered dry signal into the reverb plugin, and that's going to make it sound a little shorter and have a less dense response. Plugin also has a ducker that you can actually sync with the BPM of the song, which is cool if you want to give it that kind of pumping sound. Let's listen to a little bit of our track, and then we'll ISO out the vocal and start playing with Spaced Out.
Sometime last spring, I'm talking to a friend. Shadows mark time. We leave the porch and go for a drive.
So this is kind of like a mellowed out indie track. And let's jump in immediately on the lead vocal. I've got some sends set up here to Spaced Out on an aux, and let's hear what this thing can do. The way I go about using this plugin is I basically start with just the default setting, and we'll kind of play around with the delay section and then the reverb section, then go about blending the two and tweaking as I go. So for the delay, I'm a big fan of this dotted delay, and I found a pattern that sounds good, and for me is a good starting point is just marking these four. I like to give it a decent amount of sustain and feedback because I want that nice swirly sound, and I like to turn the dimension setting on. Filter out a little high end and some low end, and let's see how it sounds.
This time last year I saw her every day. He says unfair.
Alright, let's try some different delay textures.
This time last year I saw her every day. He says
And I'm going to go ahead and use this wonky tape setting. I like the kind of modulated feel it has.
This time last year.
I really like how this delay and the wonky tape setting in particular is kind of doubling up his vocal and making it sound even thicker. So let's jump over to the reverb side of things. And one thing I noticed off the bat with this plugin is this small space setting is a great kind of plate small hall sound. I've reached for this plugin just to use it as like a small hall verb. I think it stacks up with any of the other major reverb plugins, and that's not even including all the other crazy stuff you can do with this plugin. Man, yeah, just wanted to point that out. But for this track, I'm going for that big shoegaze vibe, so let's, see what this thing can do.
Through the vines, This time last year I saw her every day. He says unfazed, I never see a lump in his throat. He carries all the boulders he knows.
I'm liking this area. All right. Man, that's sounding good. Let's mess around with this cleanup setting. See if it changes the sound in the way we like.
Through the vines, this time last year.
I like how that kind of almost mellowed out the effect, made it a little less in your face, but for this particular application, I think I'm going to leave cleanup off and maybe engage Stardust, because I want this to be, you know, kind of a spacey sounding vocal.
Through the vines, this time last year I saw her every day.
That is sounding nice. Now, oh, you can hear that shimmer just chilling in the background, adding a really nice atmosphere. All right, let's go about blending the two.
Through the vines, this time last year I saw her every day. He says unfazed, I never see a lump in his throat. He carries all the ball.
Man, that is sounding killer. Let's go ahead and bring it in with the track.
Sometime last spring I'm talking to a friend. Shadows mark time. We leave the porch and go for a drive. Pull over, take a walk through the vines.
Man, that is sounding good. The vocal just, you know, filling up the song and, you know, reverberating and just sitting in the background. It's like you can almost use this to take a vocal and like generate a synth pad sound, a big stereo synth pad that you can then mix in behind your song. That is really killer. All right, let's jump over to the chunk of the song that has a female vocal. This is a real shoegazey part, and first I'm going to play it without the vocal verb. Now, let's get Spaced Out involved and really just, you know, send those vocals into the stratosphere. I'm going to solo them out, and we'll do the same thing. We'll just kind of play around with the plugin and find something that works. And that's one of the things I really like about this reverb. You know, it's not overly complex. There's not a bunch of crazy settings that you have to learn, a bunch of, you know, numbers in your face. It's really just about playing around with these three control interfaces, moving them around, trying different stuff out, and, you know, building something that you like and then tweaking it as you go. So let's see what we can do with this vocal.
I do not know why you got a hold on me, but you
I'm gonna add some more delay. We'll try a triplet delay.
But you got a hold on me.
Nice. Let's try reverse delay, why not?
Half of the time, this is what I pantomime.
Ooh, that is cool.
Pointing at something alive. Pointing at something.
And I'm also liking this hazy setting a lot. It's got that modulation that I think, you know, brings some dimension to the vocal. All right, let's head over to the reverb side of things.
I do not know why you got a hold on me, but you got a hold on me.
Oh yeah, there we go.
But you got a hold on me.
That's the big reverb pad I'm looking for.
This is what I pantomime, pointing at something alive.
All right, now let's start blending our new delay and reverb setting.
I do not know why you got a hold on me, but you got a hold on me, but you got a hold on me. Half of the time, this is what I pantomime, pointing at something
All right, now let's bring that into the main mix and really shoegaze out this section. Man, that is sounding killer. This is similar to what I did with the male vocal. However, for the female vocal, I kind of wanted to go even crazier with it and make it even more, spaced out. Because once again, I was able to take her vocal and essentially use spaced out like a synth pad. And then, kind of ride the fader as the song was playing to get where I want that kind of synthy, reverby delay goodness to kind of chill in the mix. And that's how I have really enjoyed using this plugin. Using it sometimes just as, for the more functional aspects of using a reverb, like putting it on the small space setting and just using it like a vocal hall. Where I feel like it really stands out, though, is it can almost be used as like a virtual instrument. You send the vocal into it, and then you can get really crazy with the delay, the modulation, and the reverb to create essentially like a synth pad. And I'm a huge fan of synth pads. I love, the dimension and the atmosphere that they bring to a mix. So this plugin is definitely one I'm going to be coming back to when I'm working on music and I'm, working on mixes. Baby Audio, once again, absolutely knocked it out of the park with this thing. If you want to learn more about this plugin and try it out for yourself, just follow the link in my description. As always, stay tuned for more audio and music-related content. Peace.